Hello there viewers and welcome to today's video. We'll discuss the latest women's sporting news from WNBA to gymnastics to tennis. We'll cover it all. And don't worry, we'll keep it light and fun. After all, sports are supposed to be enjoyable, right? Make sure to stick around for a shocking upset in the world of tennis. Kicking us off, Simone Biles had created a selective plan for her motherhood. As the most popular and accomplished gymnast, every young woman who dreams of being an Olympic gymnast knows the name Simone Biles. The GOAT has already established her legacy in a relatively short career thus far. Even before the 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics, there was no doubt about it. Now, while taking a break from her competitive career, Biles is set to marry her fiance, NFL player Jonathan Owens, sometime next year. And as a role model for many young women, what is Biles' opinion on having her own children? At the 2016 Rio Games, Simone Biles shocked the world, winning 4 gold medals and 1 bronze at her first Olympic Games. We got to know a lot more about her personal goals. In a nearly long-hour interview, Biles discussed her dreams and aspirations off the mat. When Daphne Oz asked the gymnastics legend if she wanted to have children in the future, her answer was a resounding yes. "I want children," Biles said. "I really want twins, but you can't make that happen. But I'm going to find all the secret formulas to try and make that happen." Biles also passed on her dream place to live. "I really want to live in Hawaii. Maybe a surfing career isn't out of the question for the GOAT gymnast, and let's hope she achieves what she plans." Next, Suns make second biggest comeback of 2020 WNBA season, fighting back from 17-point deficit to the Mystics. It was fitting that perhaps the biggest play of the game was a block, as the Sun keyed their big comeback win with some stifling defense. With 5:53 remaining in the third quarter, the Sun trailed 55-38. They allowed just 17 points over the remainder of the game, and in the third quarter, they held the Mystics to 10 points, which at that point was Washington's lowest scoring quarter of the season. That mark didn't last long, however, as the Sun then one-upped themselves and held the Mystics to just 7 points in the fourth quarter. All told, the Mystics scored just 23 points in the second half and overtime combined, fewer points than they had in the first quarter of the game, and they had more turnovers than made field goals. Over those 25 minutes of game action, the Sun limited the Mystics to 9 of 37 from the field and forced them into 11 turnovers. The Sun's activity and energy during the comeback often overwhelmed the Mystics. When the Mystics weren't turning the ball over, they often had to settle for tough jumpers, and on possessions where they were able to find a path into the paint, the Sun's bigs were there to clean things up. The second half and overtime against the Mystics, though, were a reminder that this is still one of the best teams in the league, and the defense is capable of being devastating even without Jasmine Thomas, out for the season due to a torn ACL. Moving on, Brittany Griner's wife says she's not yet heard from President Biden. It's very disheartening. Venus Mercury star Brittany Griner, who remained detained in Russia indefinitely on alleged drug charges, sent a letter to the White House on Monday appealing directly to President Joe Biden to fight for her freedom. On Tuesday, Griner's wife, Sherelle, told CBS Morning that it's been very disheartening not to hear from the president yet, and Griner was detained at Sheremetyevo International Airport on February 17th after the Russian Federal Customer Service claimed to have found vape cartridges containing the marijuana concentrate hashish oil in Griner's luggage. She has been charged with large-scale transportation of drugs, an offense that can carry a sentence of up to 10 years behind bars in Russia, according to the New York Times. After 130 days of detention, Griner's trial began on July 1, per the Russian news agency TASS. Griner said in court she understood the charges against her but declined to enter a plea. The trial is expected to continue July 7th after a delay due to the absence of 2 witnesses. At some point during her trial, Griner is likely to plead guilty, according to TJ Quinn of ESPN. Griner would do so knowing that Russian officials would require an admission of guilt as part of a trade to send her home. Russian authorities have signed an interest in a prisoner swap that would free convicted arms dealer Viktor Bout, who is currently serving a 25-year sentence. However, the vast discrepancy between these 2 offenses would make such an exchange difficult for the White House to justify, per the New York Times. Up next, Los Angeles Sparks become the first team in WNBA history to win 500 games. The Los Angeles Sparks got back in the win column on Friday night by beating the Dallas Wings 97-89 behind 21 points each from Nneka Ogwumike and Liz Cambridge. With that, the Sparks made history becoming the first WNBA team to reach 500 wins. The Sparks were one of the league's founding franchises back in '97, and along with the New York Liberty and Phoenix Mercury, are one of just 3 of those teams to still exist. In fact, the Sparks played the Liberty in the first ever WNBA game, though they did not get the win on that occasion. The Sparks' first franchise win came in their third game when they beat the Charlotte Sting 74-54 behind 19 points from Lisa Leslie. In the ensuing 25 years, the Sparks have been one of the league's most successful franchises. They've won 3 championships in 01, 02, and 16, which is tied for the second most all time, have a .604 winning percentage in the regular season, and have only missed the playoffs 5 times. One of those occasions was last season, however, and the Spark responded with a number of high-profile moves, signing Liz Cambridge and trading for Kennedy Carter in the winter to try and ensure they got back in the postseason picture. They may still do so as they sit just percentage points points out of 8th place, but the season has not gone to plan. Perhaps the historic win over the Wings will be the spark that can help them turn their season around. Now let's move on to tennis. Iga Swiatek's 37-match winning streak ends with stunning third-round loss to Alizé Cornet. Upsets aren't uncommon in the tennis world. Even the greatest players of all time don't regularly run long strings of tournament victories. When winning streak headlines start reaching the longest of the decade or longest of the century point, it becomes all the more stunning when they come to an end. Iga Swiatek's incredible winning streak is over at 37 matches after a third-round loss to Alizé Cornet at Wimbledon. Swiatek's streak is the longest in WTA this century, topping legends Venus Williams, 35 in 2000, Serena Williams, 34 in 2013, and Justine Henin, 32 in 2007-2008. The incredible run came to a crashing halt on center court at the All England Club on Saturday in a match where Swiatek, the world's top-ranked woman, simply wasn't sharp in a 6-4, 6-2 loss. She committed 33 unforced errors, won only 30%, 8 for 27, of her second serve points, and only 37% of her receiving points. Cornet, meanwhile, is on the 4th round at Wimbledon, and this isn't the first time she has won a stunner in London. Back in 2014, Cornet upset the then world number 1 Serena Williams in the 3rd round at Wimbledon. At the time, Williams was the defending champion and had won 3 of the past 4 Wimbledon single titles. Before the loss to Cornet, Swiatek's last defeat came to Helena Ostapenko in Dubai on February 16, 136 days ago. Finally, what's next for Serena Williams? This is not the way Serena Williams wanted her return to professional tennis to go. The 23-time major champion, playing for the first time since the opening round at the All England Club last year, lost to Harmony Tan in an opening round match at Wimbledon, 7-5, 1-6, 7-6. It's just the 3rd time Williams has lost in the first round of a major. It happened last year at Wimbledon when she had to retire due to a torn hamstring against Alexandra Sasnovich, and at the 2012 French Open against Virginie Razzano. While the final result is obviously a disappointment for Williams, she and Tan gave us some truly spectacular tennis during a match that lasted 3 hours and 11 minutes. Williams actually won more points, 124 to 119, but committed far too many unforced errors, 54 compared to 28 for Tan. For Tan, ranked 115th in the world, it's a massive win for her in her Wimbledon debut. She'll face Sarah Cerebos Tormo next, and Williams, who turns 41 in September, wore her emotions on her sleeve after every key point, but took the loss in stride and told media members post-match she's unsure of what her future holds. For now, she'll remain 1 Grand Slam behind tying Margaret Court's record and leave Wimbledon, where she's won 7 times, with much to think about. Unfortunately, guys, that's all the time we have for today. Make sure to like and follow for more great content. Till next time, cheers.